Hey gang, it's your buddy Platt, and we're back for another homebrew experiment. Today's beer was inspired by some recent beer reviews I've seen. Several of them were covering Milkshake IPAs. I had heard the term before, but I'm not the biggest IPA fan, so I can't remember ever trying a Milkshake IPA. But it got me doing a little more research and wanted to know why they were called Milkshake IPAs. Well, come to find out, they use lactose or milk sugars in brewing the beers. If you've never used lactose before in a beer, lactose, like it says, milk sugar, that lactose does not ferment out in the fermentation process, or it doesn't. The sweetness does not leave. It because it didn't ferment, that sweetness carries through the process, and when you drink it, you will notice it there. Also, it adds a creamy texture to beer, which again makes sense because we're using milk sugar. I had brewed milk stouts before, and that's to be honest, the only time I'd ever heard of lactose being used in a beer to brew a beer. If you've never tried a milk stout before, they're absolutely delicious. One of my favorite styles of beer. But like I said, I'd always just thought lactose milk stout. So when I researched these IPAs, it got me thinking, well, yeah, why couldn't I use another beer? And why couldn't you use another beer? I said, yeah, well, that's kind of genius. What a lot of the breweries are doing is adding lactose and then like some fruit, making almost like I've heard these IPAs compared to smoothies, fruit smoothies. Maybe throw some strawberry or mango in with the lactose, and now you got a strawberry mango milkshake IPA, you know, what have you. So I thought, all right, well, let's brew a beer with lactose, just see again outside the milk stout realm what it would taste like. I'm not the biggest IPA fan, but I thought I would utilize. I have one of these Craft-a-Brew Pale Ale kits. If you've never used Craft-a-Brew before, I'll leave a link up here to a video I did on how to use them or whatever. Craft-a-Brew kits are kind of the step up from Mr. Beer. You'll do a partial mash on this beer. It's not an all grain. It's kind of the step in between Mr. Beer and an all grain, but not too difficult. Something I feel everybody that watches this channel could easily handle. So what we're going to do here is, like I said, I'm going to add the lactose, and then I had a little vanilla extract left over from a previous video, so I thought I'd make a vanilla milkshake pale ale. So that's what we're going to do here today. I'm not going to walk you through the whole process of Craft-a-Brew. Like I said, you can check out this other video. So what I'm going to do is do our partial mash first, or mash our Spester grains, and then when it comes time to add the lactose, and we'll add the lactose in with the dried malt extract, that's when we'll come back, like I said, add those two together, and then we will come back at the end to talk about when we add the vanilla extract and the rest of the process. So let's get to making some vanilla milkshake pale ale. Alright gang, we're done with our mash. Now we've got to the point where we're going to add the lactose. Now, in several recipes I've read people have different opinion on when to add lactose. Some will throw it in during the boil. Some will even throw it in the fermenter post-boil. And some will do it pre-boil. And that's what we're going to do now. And the main reason why I'm doing it is because if we had anything randomly in the lactose or what have you, the boil's going to take care of that. It's for sanitation purposes. You know, if you want to play with it around after a while, like I said, some people throw it in the fermenter because it doesn't ferment. It kind of doesn't matter pre or post fermentation as far as that sense goes. It's not going to affect the gravity or the alcohol content, anything like that. But I'm going to do it pre-boil because just for sanitation purposes only. So I'm adding 4 ounces of the lactose to our 1 gallon brew. Once you've made a beer or 2 of these, if you want to bump it up or lower it, depending on your taste, but just the recipes I've seen, 4 ounces is about right for 1 pound. So I'm just going to dump that in there. Get that stirred in, and then I'm going to add now our malt extract. There you go. Make sure you get all that out of there so we get our gravity just right. And the Craft-a-Brew Kit will have all this. All we're really adding is the lactose and then later on the vanilla extract. So now I got that in there. What we're going to do from here is do a 1 hour boil. The Craft-a-Brew Kit has the hop additions, and I'll let you know when to do it. One thing about the Craft-a-Brew Kit, and something I think I talked about when I did the original review, is they do not come with instructions. It'll advise you to go to their website, and they have some instructions that you can print out. They also do a video demonstrating the kit, but the video just has music. There's no words to it. So something that if I'm trying to sell the kit to people, I will let them know that, you know, hey, that there's not any hard instructions. So if you want, again, just check out my video. It'll talk you through it. So let me get through the boil. I'll get through the boil. We'll cool it off, throw it in the fermenter, do a gravity check, and then we'll come back to kind of wrap up, and then I'll talk about the vanilla addition too. All right, so to wrap up, we went ahead and brewed our vanilla milkshake pale ale. We added 4 ounces of lactose to a Craft-a-Brew pale ale kit. All we have left to do is pitch the yeast, which comes in the pack. It's made just for these 1 gallon brews. Real quick on the vanilla, we are going to let this go through primary fermentation for a week and then rack it to a secondary fermentation. In secondary fermentation, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. If you have real whole bean vanilla, vanilla beans, split one of those and throw it in there if you want to do that. I just happen to have some extra extract, vanilla extract left around, so we're going to add 1 teaspoon of that after we racked off into secondary fermentation. So this beer should be ready. We're going to do a week of primary, a couple weeks of secondary, bottle. This beer should be ready in about a month or so, and we will try it then in our next homebrew tasting. I've got a couple other things working right now, so here in a month or so we should have some things to try, including this. A real quick note on this Craft-a-Brew. I did a gravity reading. We're at 1.043. That's our original gravity. I looked in on the Craft-a-Brew website. I did not see anything about projected ABV for this beer or what specific gravity we should hit. That's another thing that kind of concerns me. Again, the website, there was no instructions with it. I did not see anything. There's nothing on the box or anything that tells me what ABV or original gravity I should hit. So we're kind of flying blind on this. 1.043. That's going to be more of a session style, but we'll have to see how it comes out after fermentation. So come back for the tasting video probably here in a month or so, and we'll see how it turns out. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe down below. Also, please like the video because it lets YouTube know we're putting out good content. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comment section, or you can always contact me on the Twitter page. Till next time, bottoms up.